Working with 3D objects isn't as hard as you think. I've animated so many 3D objects in DaVinci Resolve, and that's why I thought I'd make this video breaking down exactly how I do it. Buckle up, this is going to be a really cool video, and it doesn't have to be complicated. Trust me, it's not as hard as it looks.
We will see about that.
Just follow along step by step. I'm sure you won't get too lost. My name's Dan, you're watching DanVinci, and let's start the video. So I've got a clip here of me just walking through the snow. There's plenty of textures there, which is what we want for adding the tracking points with our camera tracker, which we're going to use in just a second. So let's jump into the Fusion tab. And what I want to do first is making sure I've got my Media 1 selected. I'm going to Control Space and search Camera Tracker. Cool, so I've created the camera tracker node, and we want to make sure our inspector over here is open so that we can see all of the controls here. So the first thing we want to do is make sure we've got the preview auto track locations like selected. That way we can use these toggles here and actually see where exactly it's going to be tracking. What I find with this is you have to sort of mess around with it shot by shot. Obviously the more tracking points the better. Try and mess around with the detection threshold as much as you can so you've got as many tracking points as humanly possible, because the more the merrier. I don't know whether this is like a feature or a bug, but when you click on the actual controls and hold down, you can actually see the points a lot better. I don't know whether that's a bug. It's always done this, so maybe Blackmagic, you could fix this. So if I move it there. Okay, so I'm happy with the amount of tracking points there are. Okay, so the next step is literally just clicking auto track. This is very similar to the camera tracking you'd find in After Effects. And as you can see, magic before your eyes. What do you guys think of the new set, by the way? That's why I haven't been uploading, I've been doing this. Once it basically looks like it's doing nothing, we want to go over to the Solve tab, just here. Oh, no, it's not going well, is it? Okay, once your computer has finished crashing, go into the Solve tab, click Solve. Cool. Now, once this is finished loading, you should see all the keyframes appear in your timeline like so. If you're having the same problem as me with your crashing when you click solve, you want to make sure the minimum feature separation is quite high, because if you have far more tracking points, then your computer's going to just really struggle, and you're going to have to just wait a billion years for it to actually solve and work out all the tracking points. And I've seen a lot of tutorials mention that the solve error needs to be below 1 in order for you to carry on and have this work properly. Obviously bear that in mind, but I've got away with it before, take it as you will. So now what we want to do is go over to our export tab, and we want to click on export dying. Then we want to just move these nodes that it spawns into place there, and we no longer need the tracker, so I'm just going to move them over there. Right, so now we don't need the camera tracker, and it's not going to crash my computer anymore. So the next step is we want to take this apart and get rid of the media 1 to the media out and add the render in to the media out. That's because we want these nodes to be part of the node tree for our next step. Now we want the object. Now this could be literally anything. It could be a shape or an object that you've made within DaVinci Resolve, or it could be a 3D model, which you can download online. And now I'll link this site down below. This is a site called Sketchfab, which, by the way, they're not sponsoring today's video. It's just I use them a lot. They're basically a website where people can come together and share their 3D models that they've made within Blender, for example. So if you want to add an object and you want to find an object, you can find one here. So I'm just going to search, I don't know, football. That'll be quite easy. Yeah, there we go. Football. Let's add you in. Yeah, so there we go. We've got a 3D model of a football. So let's just download that. And what we want is, we want an FBX format. So let's just download that now, hopefully. Please download. Now, once this is downloaded, you can unzip the folder, or is it extract all? There we go. We want to extract the files. Extraction. There we go. So we've got the FBX file. We now want to go to Fusion, go down to Import, and go down to FBX Scene. Find the relevant file that you've downloaded and import the football, for example. It will come up with this with like a hierarchy and render range not selected. More often than not, you don't have to touch any of this, so do not stress. We're in Zen mode. We're in relaxation station. We don't have to worry about all of this information. We can just click OK. ASMR with Dan. This is actually a really small FBX scene. This is one of the smallest ones I've seen, so there we go. You might find that the football is, well, massive, and it looks like the textures have also not been imported. So if this happens, not to worry. Again, Zen, we're in a non-stress environment. Now, quite often you'll download an FBX scene. As long as it's an FBX file, it should work perfectly fine. You'll just get all of the nodes and it will just work. You won't have to mess around with the nodes. This occasion, this is actually a good example. The textures weren't there, but your textures will be given to you within the download that you get from Sketchfab. So you can just drag them in, apply them. If that doesn't work, you can use something called replace material. That'll override what material's already there. You'll just have to figure out where to place that, or merge material. We've got our 3D model. Let's now add it into our scene, which is camera tracked. Now, if this happens, it's because our object is huge. If we zoom in here, this is our like image plane, like our 3D space. You want to just make sure that you go into your inspector, go on the scale and bring it right the way down, maybe 0.1, something like that. Again, that's still quite large, so I'm going to bring it maybe down another 10 times. There you go. So our football is now in the scene. I might make it even smaller. like that, half it. I'm gonna go even smaller than that. Oh, that's too small. Yeah, there we go, I'm happy with that. You might see that there's like an image plane in here. You'll wanna basically remove that. You don't have to have that in there. You can just delete that. It's not really necessary. But the football itself, basically what's happening here, if you click play, you'll notice it doesn't really follow the scene. It is moving, but it's like parallaxing. It's not there. It's not stuck in the snow. So this is actually quite tricky. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna time lapse this of myself fixing this. So yeah, what I've found is the football needs to be a lot closer to the camera in my instance in order for it to look like it's moving within the frame. Even closer still, I reckon. So I'm going to bring the scale down because I've brought it so close to the camera. It's huge. So it's not quite. It's moving too quickly now, which means it is too close. A bit further away. Yeah. That's pretty good. That looks pretty real. Right, now let's add some lighting to this to make this look a little bit more real. So I'm going to add an ambient light source in. And what I'm going to do is move that here. Just bring it up. Something like that. Making sure we have our merge 3D1 node, which is just sort of in the middle of all these nodes here, selected on one so we can see in the preview. That way we can see everything and we can adjust the lighting so that it's sort of roughly where the sun was on the day of shooting this video. Then what we want to do is get the ambient light and I want to increase the intensity. And you can go beyond 1 if you just click on it, go to 2 or something. Now with your textures, before it goes into its actual material, which is this guy right here, you can add color correction. So what you can do then is you can mess around with contrast of the ball so that it matches the environment that it's in. So for example, if the environment was very cold, you could make it a bit more blue before and after. It just looks a bit more real. I hope you guys found that very, very useful. That is basically how you add 3D objects and track them into real life in DaVinci Resolve. Really looking forward to this year. Last year was a massive year for growth for this channel. By the way, guys, bit of a random one. This is the shirt that YouTube sent me. Thanks, YouTube. I genuinely am happy that they sent me this. I put it in the frame. They didn't send me the frame. They're not that nice, but the shirt was nice. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Dan, your host. Goodbye.